Hello, I'm Emmeline.
And I'm Kindy.
And welcome to Stuff with Moms, a podcast about shows, stories, and enjoying life.
Yeah.
So, Kindy, how's your month been?
It is good. My son has discovered crushes and breakups, apparently.
What?
Right? He's in first grade. How and why is this possible? All of a sudden, he comes home, and the first thing he tells me is that he had to break up with his crush because you're not allowed to have crushes at school. I'm like, okay, I don't know who told you that, but her name is Adeline, and she stands next to him in line, so he gets to talk to her and be around her all the time, and I bet she's a cutie. He apparently has a crush on this little girl, and I'm like, this is too soon. You're in first grade, 6 years old. No, I'm like listening to him tell me this story about this little girl who's in his class and how he had to break up with her. I was like, I didn't even know you had a crush. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. You actually have a crush, but you're telling me about it after you broke up. I'm sure, it's first grade. Nothing's going on. They're just having conversations, which is hilarious. But in my head, I'm like, no. I don't like this. I didn't like it when he was losing his teeth. I didn't like it when he gets, I don't like it that my kids are growing up. And this is like one of those things where he is growing
That's so
up.
Cute.
Yeah. It was super cute. But yeah. How was your month?
So I had a lot of stories stored up.
Yeah? It's the Emmeline show.
Okay, so it was Cassie's birthday this week. So she's our little pug beagle mix, a puggle. And she...
Not the official name?
Yeah.
I thought it was something you made up, which would be awesome. But.
It would be. She turned 18 years old.
Holy crap.
On the 18th. So it was her golden birthday. Yeah, so she's old.
Yeah, she is. And still kicking, right?
Yep,
like she's still getting around. And
still so good.
That's impressive.
She's just blind and deaf. She can still see light and dark. Mm-hmm. Like when the lights turn on, it rouses her. And then when you yell really loud or clap or something, she can hear that.
Yeah.
So she isn't completely deaf or completely blind, but just mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
She's doing great, and so we got her treats and gave her lots of pets and kisses and cuddled with her and gave her all the things she likes. So
happy birthday, Cass.
Yeah. And then I probably talk about this all the time, but teaching kindergartners is the best because when they see you in the hallway, it's like a puppy, they're so excited to see you all the time.
Yep.
That's the way it is with kindergartners. So they run up to me and hug me and, oh, Miss Emmeline, let me show you this picture I just drew, or tell you about my day, or, oh, it's the best. Yeah. And sometimes they're walking to and from classes, and so they can't, but they still try to hug me anyway. And it's just the best. I love them. I'm going to miss them a lot, but new different things. So,
yeah.
And then we have these. You know how you can fling rubber bands across the room by shooting them on your finger. Anyway, so a couple of years ago for Christmas, I got these flingy shooters that they stretch out and stuff, right? A rubber band, but it's one piece and it looks like a poop.
Okay.
Because I thought for Christmas, I was like, the boys, I was looking up flingy things that we could shoot around the room, right? And there were like chickens and pigs. There were a couple different options, but one of them was poops. And I was like, dude, my boys would love this, right?
Yeah, they
So I
would.
bought them, and, we pull them out every once in a while and shoot them at each other, and it's fun. So the other morning, I came down, and Kyle was already working in the office, and there were a whole bunch of the little flingy poops, right? And they were on the couch, and I was like, oh, this will be funny. And so I was like, Kyle, there's poop on the couch. And he comes storming out of the office like, who pooped on the couch? Like, how did Cassie even get up there? That was where his first thought was. And then he saw what I was talking about. And then, like, relief that washed over his face. Oh, it was so funny. I wish I could have, like, captured it.
Yeah.
It's in my brain, but I wish I could have, like, filmed it because it was awesome. Anyway. So things are going good for school. I'm making really good grades. So that's always reassuring. I was like really nervous that I wouldn't go back to school very easily. Like it was going to be really hard. And mind you, it is hard, but I'm also doing really well. So my hard work is paying off. I thought I'd have to work really hard and I still would suck. So good news.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. It would be the reverse for me, I feel. Like I'd be like, what's the point? I'm working this hard and I barely make it.
That's what I thought it was going to be. So,
Well, I'm glad it's not true.
Me too. All right. So I have the word of the month. And I picked an acronym.
I noticed.
And I'll give you a hint. It's a tech acronym. IT, not just tech. Okay? And the acronym is picnic. PICNIC. So what do you think it stands for, Kindy?
So like a software that they use to protect.
I'm not gonna give you any more hints. That was a big enough hint.
Oh my gosh. And I'm still befuddled. Picking in charge, not in cloning. I've never heard of this acronym before. If you can tell. Perpetuating incognito necessary in charge. In charades. All right, I'm done making stuff up.
Okay.
What is it?
No, that's so great. Okay, so this is something you don't want your IT guy to say to you. If he's like, oh working with you is a picnic. You don't want it because it stands for problem in chair, not in computer.
When I reach out to IT, I'm always like, it could be user error. So this is what I did. Please help. And then,
So you can tell them it's a picnic and they'll know what you're talking about. The problem is in the chair, not in the computer. Please tell me what's wrong.
Yeah, what did I do so I cannot do this again? That's hilarious. And I always tell them, yes, I've restarted my computer several times. Okay, before we move on to your question, I wanted to ask you on the spot, how many nicknames do people come up with in your name? So like how many nicknames have you gotten with Emmeline?
Okay, there's my one from my aunt. She calls me Liner.
Which I love.
Yeah. Emma Liner. Doobie Dimey. Emmy. Emma. Lion. Oh, Lemon Lime. That's all that I can think of right now, but...
What about M?
M. Yes, an M.
Anyone called you that? Yeah.
Yes.
So what is that, like 12?
10, yeah, 12.
10.
I didn't count. I was keeping track, and then I realized did 5 more, and I didn't track them, so I don't know.
That is awesome. I can get 2, I think. Kind, kin, kind. Okay, I guess 3. And that's about, kidney. So I got 4. But you know what? Ironically, no one's ever called me kidney except once on a bus. Well, they've done it on accident.
Right. I'm like, that's more of an accident one than an...
Well, except the kid on the bus. His was on purpose, and I just laughed at him. But usually when people do it on accident, they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. Honestly, I'm surprised. In high school, nobody called me kidney. But... yeah, one kid. It was my senior year, so I made it all through my school life, and nobody called me kidney until I was a senior, and I just laughed at him. I was like, yeah, you can definitely call me kidney if you want, but I might not answer. They were trying to be mean, but it didn't work, so.
Yeah.
I was just curious. You got a lot more than I was thinking, because with my daughter, there's Emmy, Emmeline, and then that's about it. And then when I thought of you, I was like, definitely Liner, because you've told me about that one before, and I think that one's my favorite. Although that lemon, what was it?
Lemon lime?
Yeah, lemon lime one's pretty cute.
It is.
Who called you that?
Tim calls me that sometimes.
Oh, he does?
My younger brother. So, yeah.
That is awesome. Did he do it because he couldn't figure out how to say your name, or
no,
he was older and he said it?
It was older.
Oh, okay.
So
nice. That's awesome. I'm guessing all of them come from your family, or also friends. Yeah.
Badimey,
Badimey,
and Wimey. Wimey was because I always said that when my mom would ask me to do something. I'd say, Wimey. And so Wimey became my nickname for a while. And then Badimey kind of merged from that, I think. Is why Kendra called me that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, those are all like family nicknames other than like the obvious ones, like Emmy, Emma, and M. Were all from like friends that didn't want to say my whole name.
Yep. Lot of little kids. It's hard to say Emmeline, so a lot of them are like Emmy.
Yep.
So, which I get, but we'll see when she's older what happens. But it's interesting.
I love nicknames. I think they're fun, but at the same time, I really love my name.
It's a good name, yeah.
So I have a hard time being like, yeah, you can call me something other than my name, because I just love hearing my name. So
yeah,
I want people to say my whole name.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
One my sister Nikki gave me was Kin.
I don't think I've ever called you anything other than Kindy, other than when I accidentally called you Kidney, because I know I have. Because I felt horrible. I was like, I didn't mean to say that. It came out of me.
Yeah, you're probably one of the people who I'm remembering. I think there were some others. I don't remember off the top, because it doesn't offend me at all. I think it's hilarious. But I can imagine not getting a nickname from you, especially with how much you love hearing your name. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Nice tangent. Thank you for indulging.
That was fun. Have you been thinking about like a nickname to give Emmeline?
No, it's so much easier when I'm putting in appointments in my phone for her that I just do M. And so it just got me thinking how many nicknames that you've gotten throughout your years since you're older than my daughter. And right now she only has a couple, but none from our home. We all call her Emmeline.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we do.
Here's our question from our question box. How many hours of sleep per night do you need to feel good? And do you like naps? I guess it's 2 questions in one. Sorry. I interrupted. Sorry. You said...
No, you're good. You're good. I just was saying I love naps. They're they're the best. But
Me too.
I don't know. I feel like my whole sleeping is off since kids.
Mm-hmm.
And even before then, my
Mm-hmm.
sleeping was off because I don't like to go to bed sometimes, which now the older I get, the more I like it. But like I would stay out so late in my 20s and then I'd have to still wake up early. And then it just is carried over into my 30s and now it's like I don't freaking know. 7, 8, 6. I don't know. How about you?
To feel good, I need 6. And I love naps.
Right?
But maybe it's because I'm only getting a good 6 hours.
It could be. For the longest time, I'd take naps on the weekend, and Matt would call them my crabby naps because I'd wake up crabby instead of happier. So it was like, why am I taking naps if they don't do me any good? They just make me in a bad mood. But then if I don't get naps, I'm crabby because I'm tired and I just want everybody to leave me alone so I can take a nap.
Sounds like you need a longer nap.
Right? I probably do. Sometimes I think I sleep too much, but I don't know. I could sleep for 12 hours and still take a nap.
So could Kyle. Like, I'm like,
Yeah?
how do you do that? Like, he can just like, and he falls asleep instantly. That's my problem. I'll have every intention of getting like 8 hours of sleep, and I lay in bed for 2 hours before I finally fall asleep. And so it's like,
That's the worst.
6 it is.
Right? So it's almost like it's out of your hands. You're just doing 6 hours because that's what you can do.
Yep.
Have you ever tried, because something that has happened to me that I've noticed, there's a trick that has worked for me where if my brain just keeps going and I can't get it to shut off, I'll just journal. I'll just write whatever I'm thinking about and just keep going until I'm done, and then I'll lay down and I'll fall asleep super fast.
Ooh, that sounds like a great idea because I need to journal better.
Yeah. Last 2 nights, so the night before I was exhausted and I couldn't fall asleep. And I just laid there until I eventually fell asleep, and I kicking myself the whole time. I should go journal. And I never did. And then last night I did stay up later, but then I just couldn't fall asleep. So I went in the living room and just was writing whatever, and mostly what I was stressed or worried about. And then I went back and laid down and fell right to sleep. So I've done it multiple times. I don't know why it takes me so long to just get up and journal, because it's like magic. It's just because my brain won't shut up. It doesn't get that it's quiet time.
Just stop. No, my brain, like that sounds good, but I don't know if like the standing up and moving somewhere, that wakes me up enough that I wouldn't be able to fall asleep after I laid back down. You know, you're like, you go somewhere to journal. You don't journal in your bed.
And then you go,
yeah, I'd have to do it like in my bed laying down.
So you don't have to get up again to go back to
because
bed.
that would instantly wake me right back up. It would be like,
maybe that's
it's
not for
awake
you.
time.
Yeah, we're moving. We're up. Let's go. I do process things better journaling, so that's probably why it works better for me, because I can get my thoughts out and like actually think through them instead of, because there's like vocal thinkers is a thing now that everybody's talking about. I'm a writer. I guess I'm vocal, but the writing, nobody wants to hear all my weird thoughts. So writing down helps me to process my thoughts. But so maybe that won't work for you.
Maybe it will. I'll try it.
Yeah. And then another trick that I do is I have a Disney song memorized, and I'll just sing it over and over in my head. Because it's like your brain's focusing on something else, but it's so boring and repetitive that it'll like lull your brain to bed.
Now I got to guess the song. Is it A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes?
No.
Oh. Is it all right? Give me the movie. Maybe I can guess it. After.
Lion King.
Is it The Circle of Life?
Nope.
Oh, Hakuna Matata.
Nope.
Be Prepared.
Yep.
Really? The one that you and your sister memorized together. You and Kelsey. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm impressed you remembered that. Yeah. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing, but that's the one. And I've actually forgotten some of it. So while I'm working, I'll have it in the background just playing over and over again so I can refamiliarize myself with it because it's, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll even do the before he actually
do you do it
starts
out
singing.
loud so Matt can...
No. No. No, he would not appreciate me just randomly singing. Mostly because the TV's on, and so he's watching or listening to TV while he falls asleep. That's another thing that's hard is he's a TV sleeper, fall asleeper, and I'm not. And so there's that. So
do you have like
I
an
either have to
eye
go
blocker face masky thing?
Yeah, and that works. But then when I put in ear plugs,
Mm-hmm.
it like amplifies the sound in a different way. It's like quieter but more it's the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is. And I can't, there's like certain earphone plugs that I've tried to look to see if it'll dampen higher sounds or something.
Oh, like noise
make it
canceling
quieter.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. So I can't do earplugs. For a while he was watching TV in the living room. So he kind of has ear problem where he'll fall asleep in the living room. He'll come to bed, but he's awake. It's that getting up and not walking. And so, yeah. So he switched to watching TV in bed and then we'll fall asleep in bed. He's so funny. He'll be out and I'll go to turn the TV off. He's like, I was watching that. It's like, no, you weren't. You were asleep. I was? Yeah. It's the funniest thing. I could have a conversation with him and he'll have no recollection of what it was I was trying to talk to him about. I don't do it because I don't know. What's the point of having a conversation with him that he won't remember?
Yeah, other than the fact that you could say, I totally had a conversation with you about that.
Right. But yeah, because he'll wake up, like I'll come to bed, because sometimes I'm working late, and so I'll come to bed and he's already asleep. And he'll wake up and roll over or turn the TV off or something. And he'll even like acknowledge that I'm there. Yeah. And then he's like, when did you come into bed? I was like, you looked at me. You don't remember?
Oh, that's awesome. Lorenzo did something for us. He made us a list of new slang, which is called Brainrot, apparently. And he wrote, the title of it is Brainrot Words for Silly Moms. He wrote across the top of the page.
That's adorable.
So he wrote the words, and then he gave me an answer key. So neither of us know the answers. Okay. All right, first one. Rizz.
I just recently saw a YouTube of a guy saying these words, and then they would guess. But it's like kind of like you got game, like you. I can't remember off the top of my head what it stands for.
It has Rizz in it. It's charisma.
Yeah. That's right.
So you got it. All right.
Yeah.
Glaze. What is glaze?
You're all shiny.
All right. Glaze. It's like the good stuff. The good stuff on top. You know, the good news. Good news. That's my guess. Good news.
Okay.
It's Buttkissing.
Oh my gosh. We're totally wrong.
Okay. The third one, Glizzy. What do you think Glizzy means?
You don't have Rizz?
The opposite of Rizz.
Yeah.
Charisma. Glizzy, I think like glamorous.
Oh, yeah.
Hot dog.
It means hot dog?
It means hot dog.
no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Glizzy?
A hot dog. Okay.
Or Glizzy?
All right, Skibidi.
Skibidi doo-dah. I even heard this one, and I can't remember what it is.
I think it means...
Skibidi?
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Stupid? I think it means
Skibidi.
stupid.
Skibidi that. I don't think it means stupid. I think it means...
I know it's like it has to do with like a dude's head in a toilet.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Like being bullied?
No, like it's
Not
a funny thing of a guy's head popping out of a toilet and saying stuff. Like
Skibidi.
Little...
Crazy, whack.
Yeah, maybe it means crazy.
Maybe it's crazy.
Okay, let's see. Evil refers to a toilet animation made in SFM. What's FSM? SFM. I'll have to ask him what that is. Ohio.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't understand why Ohio is getting so much crap. Apparently it's not good.
Yeah, I think it means like dumb.
Yeah, dumb or trash or yeah, not good.
Poor Ohio.
Poor Ohio.
Something being wacky, weird. One of the first Brainrot terms. So something is weird. It's Ohio. Property in Egypt.
I have no idea.
This is something
Property
kids say.
In Egypt.
Property in Egypt.
Like it's made up? Like when you're talking about something, it's so outlandish that it's a property in Egypt.
Okay. My guess is like it's something that's really elite.
Okay.
Okay. Someone dragging on, made by a guy who drags on how he bought a property in Egypt. Dragging on? Now I don't know what dragging on means.
Well, I think it's like a converse, like you just keep talking and talking and talking about this one thing.
Okay.
Like dragging on, like what's the other way to say that? He's going on and on and on and on and on about that one topic.
Fanum Tax. Where
you're gonna get somebody mysterious to come and take things from you.
It's just like my guess is a Fanum Tax is when it's like consequences. There, that's my guess. Consequences. Okay. Stealing food. Oh. That's the Fanum Tax.
All right.
Goofy ah. Goofy ah.
Goofy ah. It's where you've been insulted behind your back.
Ooh. You're good at coming up with definitions. I was just thinking it's something that's weird.
That's so Ohio.
The first Brainrot word meaning really goofy. Ha-ha! I was right!
Yeah, you were right.
Goofy. All right. Sigma.
Third?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like third best.
Yeah.
Okay. A male that is considered cool but doesn't get girls.
Oh.
I think Clark knows that one. I feel like he said that to me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Alpha.
Top dog, like you're the boss.
Yeah, it's a guy that's cool and gets girls.
Yeah.
A male that gets girls. Yep.
There you go.
Okay, beta. He's
a male that gets the leftovers from the alpha? The leftover girls?
So your best friend. That's going to be what I say. A male best friend. A male that doesn't get girls. Okay.
But wouldn't that be the Sigma?
Sigma, no, he's considered cool. So maybe the beta isn't cool. Or maybe they're similar. Like you could be called a sigma or a beta and it's interchangeable. Who knows? Yeah. All right, last one. Ratio. Splitting things up amongst your friends.
I don't know. I can't even think of a guess.
Getting more likes on a comment of a post than the post did.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay. Well, there we go. We did half.
Right. Well, that was fun.
It was fun. How many did you guys get of our listeners? How'd you do on those? Are you up to speed on your brain rot? On to our main segment. We're doing Smallville Season 3, episodes 9 through 12. Episode 9, I called it Damon.
Yeah, buddy. It's Asylum.
Okay, Asylum. Lex languishes in the sterile confines of Belle Reve Sanitarium, where his father has placed him. Scheming to escape and prove his sanity, Lex gets involved with 3 inmates who are also vengeful former residents of Smallville. Murderous Van McNulty, so he's the one that...
Killing all the
freaks, quote-unquote freaks, the meteor-infected people. Eric Summers, who once temporarily gained Clark's powers, and Ian Randall, who can physically split himself into 2 people. So that one's Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And then Eric Summers was the kid who played Iceman in the X-Men movies. And Van McNulty is that one guy that was in the dating show.
I had just thought of it. John Tucker must die.
Tucker. So we have those 3 dudes that are back for another go. Meanwhile, Clark tries desperately to help Lex, who now knows Clark's secret identity, and Lana begins that painful recovery process after being trampled by a horse. She finds a kindred spirit in a determined fellow patient, Adam. And Adam played the character in Vampire Diaries named Damon, which is why I called it the episode Damon. Because one of Kendi's favorite shows is Vampire Diaries, so.
Yeah, he's my favorite character. Yeah. Yeah, so this was extra fun to watch him in it.
Yeah.
So there's moments in the show where he talks, so he has like bad dreams. He's like yelling and shifting a lot in his bed, and he gets woken up by Lana, and I was like, dreaming about being a vampire there, buddy. So anytime there was like something bad or like some topic about him, I was like, it's because of the vampires. Made sense. Makes everything make sense.
It does.
Things.
It does. Okay, let's see. There were a couple things that I liked. I liked how scrappy Lex is in this episode.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of a glimpse into the Lex that's like this super genius, you know, that he isn't just it isn't just because he figured out Clark Kent's secret and that he's Superman and he's trying to manipulate him. Like, that isn't it. I like how they pull it in sometimes to show you that he really is this smart guy. I think what was interesting is at one point Lionel is there visiting Lex, and you know he sees him all caged up because after his first escape attempt they like put him on a table in like a cage so he can't even like move.
this mental place is terrible. It's dark.
Yes.
There's so many people, and you're gonna give somebody a metal bed to sleep on?
Yeah.
Like, how horrid is that? It's like the worst.
Yeah.
I would go crazy just having to be there.
Yeah. Sleep on a metal table.
Yeah, no pillow, no blankets, nothing. And then he gets put in a cage where he can't even move.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like
they have this
get
cage
caged
around
on
his
metal
chest
bed.
and around his arms.
It's like a whole body cage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pretty clever, but holy crap.
So the reason Lionel is keeping Lex there is Lex figured out that Lionel killed his parents, and he's going to turn Lionel in. Like, he has no qualms about turning his dad over to the police and getting his dad locked up in jail. He's going to find the evidence. He's going to make it happen. And Lionel knows this, so he had him, what led up to this is he kind of had him have a psychotic break so that he could, by drugging him, and then he got him institutionalized. But Lionel goes there, and he almost such good acting by this character.
Gosh, yeah.
Is he almost cries seeing Lex this way?
No, he's the one that put him there.
It's just interesting how he portrayed this emotion, I hate that I'm having to do this, but it's necessary, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And I loved Lex's acting, just how he's just so angry at his dad, but holds it in, and then it erupts, and oh my gosh, just so good. I love Michael Rosenbaum. You did, if you ever listen to this show, you did so awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Very, very well played. For sure.
Yeah.
Good writing, good acting. Just great all the way around.
The three dudes that Clark put in there want revenge. They want out and to get Clark. And so one of them, the JTT character, he goes into Lex and he's like, "We want your help." And Lex was like, "Leave me alone." And then I really like when JTT asks him, how do you scratch an itch when you're in there? And then Lex's slow head turn. Did you really just ask me that? Oh, right. It was so good. I loved it. But see, Clark's going through this thing where he kind of he's Lex is my friend. Maybe I should tell him everything. Because he knows that Lex figured at least some of it out. That Clark has superpowers in some way. And he's like, maybe I should just tell him all of it and help him escape. And he's kind of debating this in his head, right? And what was interesting is Pete takes this time to come forward and tell him how hard it is keeping his secret. And that, it sucks where I have to cover for you sometimes and say why you disappeared all of a sudden. And knowing that at any point somebody could try to get to me to get to you. And that's scary. And he tells him all these things, and Clark was like, "Whoa, I had no idea that it was so hard for you." And Pete's like, "Yeah, it's hard. You've really got to play this close to the chest and not tell anybody unless you have to," kind of thing. It was Pete's advice.
Yeah, well, I think he was trying to talk Clark out of it because he was saying, "You can't trust Lex. This is something that I go through every day where I have a conversation with someone and I have to watch what I say. And if you're putting that you're
this
pulling Lex into this that Pete himself doesn't trust Lex."
Right.
And he's like, he's trying to convince him, and he's like, the point, and I loved how his friendship with Clark. It's sad that he's not in episodes as much because he's so underutilized.
He is.
And he almost is more of a pawn than an actual participant in the episodes, because he's only used when Clark needs something. And another part of that is with Chloe too, which I'll talk later, but he just isn't. He could be utilized a lot more than they actually do. I feel like once he knows about Clark's secret, he's kind of out of.
Yeah, they kind of stopped using him as much.
Yeah,
which was a shame, because they could have really.
Shame. He's such a good actor.
He
and
is.
He's so great in every episode, and all the parts that he plays. Like, he brings something to it that is different than what all the other characters bring, and especially his personality when it comes to attractive women. Like, it is hilarious. And he's like, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what my point was with that. Just that.
No, you were telling me that he was trying to convince Clark to not tell Lex.
Yeah, to not tell Lex.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're asking him a huge thing, telling your secret.
And he's not necessarily trustworthy.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so right when Lex first escapes, he like runs and climbs up this like fence and grabs hold of barbed wire and gets tasered. And I was just curious, have you ever like had either a run-in with barbed wire, or have you ever been tasered?
I thankfully have never been tasered.
Me either. Okay. I just wasn't sure, because I don't know what that, I couldn't even describe it. I'd be like, if somebody out there's been tasered, I'm interested. Tell me what it feels like. I want to know. Because I don't want to actually experience it, but I want to know what it feels like.
Secondhand is fine. But I definitely have had run-ins with barbed wire. Nothing where I'm grabbing it like Lex did.
My gosh.
But it is painful if you ever accidentally grab one of those pokey things.
Yep, it is. And for the most part, like barbed wire, it's been out there for a while, so most of the time it's a little bit rusty. So hopefully you're up to date on your tetanus shots.
Yeah.
Good gravy. Yeah, like barbed wire is not nice stuff.
No, it is not. I have been electrocuted by an electric fence.
Oh.
But I imagine that it's not as intense as a taser. So, but man, it gets your gut. You're just like, it like tightens it and kind of takes the wind out of you. It's been a long time, but it's not fun.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
There was this one video that Kyle showed me. It was this guy, they got one of those dog collars.
Oh, yeah.
To see what it was like if you like, the like
talk
or just to see what it felt like. And so he put it on his neck and, used the buttons, went from mild to more and more intense. I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's one of those things that like, I have a hard time when people react in pain that it makes me laugh, which isn't a good thing.
Well, when they're inflicting it on themselves, it's
gosh,
okay to laugh.
Kindy, I'll link it on our Facebook page. It's so funny. This poor kid, like he's like, no, I don't want to do it. Toward the end, toward the higher up ones. Oh my goodness, it's funny. Okay, so check that out on our Facebook page. It will be great. He like flies backward at one point.
Oh, damn. Oh, man.
Martha comes to Clark and she starts like, because Clark didn't go visit Lana when she was in the hospital, but that's because she asked him not to go. So he didn't. He sent her a card, I think. Anyway,
he did.
Martha goes to, and she sees Lana in the physical therapy place with Adam, and Adam leaves. And Martha's like, oh, who's this new boy? And I'm like, get out of here, Martha. Like, with all her meddlingness. And she's like, oh, well, Clark really wanted to come. Like, he's just going through a tough thing right now. And I was like, why is she meddling? Like, get out of the business of these teenagers.
Yeah.
Do moms just do that without realizing it? Am I going to be like a meddler where I get all in my kid's business when I shouldn't? And I really hope not, because that drives me crazy.
I think it has something to do with personality, and you don't have that personality. Like, you understand boundaries. So I think you're fine.
Man, Martha, understand some boundaries, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious if you've ever been to a place where people who have mental issues are kept or checked in or what have you.
Sanitarium or sanatorium? Sanatorium?
I don't know. Mental institution or...
No, I have never been to one. I've only ever seen them on shows.
Right? Yeah, same. I did think how insane it was how many people were at this crazy house, because there were literally people everywhere. There were so many. I was like, is Metropolis just teeming with a bunch of psycho crazy people? Like, what is the deal? I just thought that was interesting. And then I was wanting to know, so Clark has a hidden talent of all of a sudden he's a hacker. And so I wanted to know if you have any hidden talents that pop up randomly in your life.
Probably. Oh, we were talking about one the other day. Now I can't remember what it was. I was like, that's one of your superpowers. And I was like, oh, thanks. But I don't remember what it was. I'll have to ask him later. But I do like when I have like things that I'm like, oh yeah, I am good at that.
Yeah, moments of realization.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, that's cool.
What about you? Do you have your random superpowers?
No. I pretty much know or am reminded of all or any of my hidden talents. Nothing as convenient as being a hacker when it's needed.
No, that's not me. I would never be able to hack into anything.
Yeah, me either. In fact, I'm starting to lose what knowledge of technology I have. The other day I was at work and I was getting really mad because I could not figure out how to get out of something in QuickBooks. So there's templates that they have, and before you can even get to the template you're trying to create. So I was trying to create or edit an invoice, but like the email or the reminder of like how frequent you want this reoccurring transaction to be popped up, and I couldn't get past it to get to the invoice to edit the invoice. It just was, and I was getting so mad. So mad. And then I saw the little arrow that I clicked on and it made it go away. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm already starting to get to that age where it's not as obvious, and it makes me sad because I'm going to probably have to work for quite a while. And so I'll be that old person that everybody's like, will you just retire? That's going to be me.
Oh,
really
so
sad.
The other day I don't remember. I had to log into something that I hadn't logged into for forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't remember the password. And so like I had to jump through all these hoops because like a lot of things now I can open automatically using my fingerprint. And so those passwords to me are gone. I don't know what they are anymore. Right? Yeah. And I was like, oh no, like what's going to happen when I'm going to have to log into these things and I'm not remembering the passwords? I'm going to have to, you got to jump through like, well, we'll look up your password and you can create a new one, but then you got to give us this code and supply us with this in order for us to know it's actually you.
Yeah. Or it'll ask you like 4 it'll
Those
ask
questions.
you one question,
Yeah.
and there's like 4 things that are different, but one of them is something that you've actually done in your past life, but it's been so long that you're like, I don't remember that. Like, which car did you own in 2019?
I
Or
have no idea.
right?
Oh, except that one I do know, but because it's the same car as now.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm getting too old for this.
Oh, right.
So Clark said in his prayers that night that I'd remember my password.
Oh, that's so
That
nice.
was so nice.
That's cute.
Okay, episode 10. Kyle named this one. He called it Flappy Lips.
Which is hilarious. Did he watch it with you?
Yeah, he's watched this. He watched it with
Called
me.
Whisper.
Whisper.
While attempting to stop a robbery, Clark shoots a burst of heat vision that is accidentally reflected back into his eyes by a piece of kryptonite, causing temporary blindness. He soon discovers that his body has developed extremely sensitive hearing to compensate for his vision loss. But as with all of his other gifts, Clark doesn't quite know how to control the new power at first, which I don't understand. Why did he even do the vision?
He was gonna
vision?
heat the gun so that the guy would drop it, like he normally does.
That was not clear.
Oh,
because I'm like, why is he heat visioning shooting at kryptonite? Because that's all you see. You don't even see the trajectory of like the gun at all. You just see him shooting at the kryptonite, and he's having issue. It looks like he's having issues because of the waves that this kid's magical vocal cords can.
his flappy
shape.
lips.
Yeah, his flappy lips, which is pretty comical and funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this one I didn't have lots of notes on, but I do like it because I love when they introduce a new power. Because Clark got his super hearing in this episode, which is really fun. But they always do this thing when he's using his super hearing where they go like, and they show the inner workings of an ear. With CGI. And I was curious what you thought about the CGI of that.
It's terrible.
It was probably really good at the time. It's like one of those things where you're like, whoa, look at what they did. And now you look back at it and you're like, wow, look at what they did.
Did not age well at all. Which is interesting because his heat vision aged well.
Yeah.
Like that looks
and
good.
even like the warping of the room with the sound waves.
When they first did those, when he could like move away from the sound waves with even with the bullets, like that is just perfect. But anything else that they do, it's like you are trying way too hard and failing miserably. This is not good.
So one thing I thought was interesting is like the guy's standing there with the gun. Something happens. And while everybody is running out to get away from the bad guy, Lana runs in to check on Clark. That's why she's going in. But you don't run into a hostage, dangerous situation. Like why she did that. I was like, what is she doing?
She's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh. Like, I'm going to run in and save this really giant man that can probably take care of himself.
Yeah, it's in the script. That's why.
Okay.
Makes no sense, but...
So Clark does overhear Chloe telling Lionel that she isn't going to spy anymore on Clark. And he thinks that she's standing right next to him. This is before he realizes he has super hearing. And he's like, what? He asks Pete, like, where's Chloe? And he's like, I don't see her. Then he realizes that Chloe had been maybe secretly spying on him, and he doesn't like that. So he gets all angry and huffy at her in this episode. And rightly so, you know?
Yeah.
Rightly so.
I mean, can he be surprised though? It's Chloe. Although I hate how they've developed their relationship. Like Clark is so dismissive of this person that he supposedly trusts. Like I don't know what it is that they're trying to do with their relationship, but it's awful, especially the next episode where there is a conflict that happens between Clark and Chloe, and I hate how Clark handled it. I hate it.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. But anything to do with like Chloe, like I get that they're trying to establish that they're on shaky ground. I get it. But I feel like Clark is just not trying. It's almost like they've already had him write her off. And it's like, then why have her keep coming? I don't know. She's great. Her acting is like just spot on. She's one of those like high up there with Clark and Pete and Lex and Lionel and just great. Yeah. But man, I hate what they're doing in their relationship. Yes.
But on the fun side, having Lex and Clark be buddy again is so fun to see.
It is. Yeah. I feel so bad for Lex. Like my heart goes out to him because I'm like, can you just stay clear of your dad? Just start your own life somewhere else.
Away from his poison.
Yeah. His poison. Yeah. And it's like, honestly, when the previous episode where he got electrified, I thought this is where he starts to go crazy. Like he just kind of loses it and his crazy is coming. But I guess it's more of like a slow burn because, you got to have it stretch out. But that's what I thought when that was happening. But I was wrong.
Yeah. And then Lana's relationship with Adam kind of gets a little bit more. But at the same time, he kind of is like, hey, is there another guy? Like, is there some other situation that I'm going to be... Because I don't want to be...
Like he's going to know that. That is so dumb. No guy is that perceptive. And I thought that was the dumbest part. Like, I can understand him doing that after he goes in to lean in to kiss her and she doesn't do anything. I can understand him doing it then. But right off the bat, it's just,
maybe he was burned in the past, and that's why he's like, you know what? I don't want to be in that situation again. So
he's testing the waters.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense. But to just be like, hey, is there somebody else? Because I get the vibe that there's somebody. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You just met this girl. I did love that he was pushing her because she's like this little, how they've written her character is that everything is woe is me, and she like takes no action for the most part, and she's just like very inactive in her own life. And I think it drives me crazy because I feel like I do that in my life where I'm not as active as I feel I should be, and it drives me crazy. In certain situations I know how to do it, how to move forward. I just am lazy and don't. And I love Emmeline. My daughter is amazing, but sometimes the things that I have to do for her are overwhelming. And so instead of actually moving forward and doing those things, I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and read and watch TV instead of actually, I don't know, doing what I should be. So I get it. I think that's what drives me crazy about Lana is she's very inactive in her own life. It's like, be an active participant in your own life. And I think that's why I do not like her as a character, because she reminds me of me way too much. I hate it about myself.
All the things you don't like about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Like Adam's character, he's like, they're like, you need to like, nobody's gonna come and fix this. You have to do it.
Yeah. Yep. It was what she needed to hear.
It was.
I loved it.
And And what's really cool is she buckles down and is like, you know what? She realizes he's speaking truth and does something about it. And she works harder and really pushes past the pain to like try and get walking back, because that's where she's at right now, because she got trampled by the horse. She can't really, like, it really damaged her legs, and now she's got to do physical therapy in order to learn to walk again.
Yep.
Do you think the guy with the vocal cord, high-pitched ability can actually do that thing with his lips? Or do you think that was, like, computer generated? Because, like, I watched it up close. It could have been his lips.
So it is, but what they do is they do a slow motion and you go.
And they just slow it down.
And they just slow it down, which makes it give that flappy look. So yes, it is his actual lips. Because we've done that. It is hilarious. If you do the slow motion on your phone and you do the and then you go back and watch it, it's very comical.
Oh, because that's what I was like. That's amazing that they made his lips look like that. Or can he actually do that? So yeah. All right. Well, he actually did that.
Yeah. At least that's what it looks like. They could have done something totally different, but that's what it looks like.
Okay. Well, good on him.
Yeah.
I like how right away the Kents were like, new superpower? Okay, let's do this.
Right.
Because they've kind of gotten into the swing of, let's learn this new thing and help you with it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So this got me to thinking, in 6th grade, we were reading Johnny Tremaine. I think it was 6th grade. Do you remember Johnny Tremaine? It's the kid who, like, he's a silver making apprentice, and he spills silver on his hand. And anyway, he ends up, his thumb is fused to the rest of his hand. Like, it's essentially like he doesn't have a thumb. His thumb is part of his palm now.
Okay.
And did you ever do any of those experiments? Our teacher had us tape our thumb to our hand for a day to just like, this is what it was like for Johnny Tremaine in the book. But did you ever do like those experiments on what it would feel like to be blind by like walking around with your eyes closed, or deaf by like putting something over your ears or plugging your ears as a kid?
No, but I remember. No.
Oh, I did that stuff all the time.
Did you?
Yeah. Like, I'd be like, okay, until, some set thing, like until tonight when it's dinner time, I'm going to walk around with my eyes closed and see what it would be like to be blind. And then I did everything with my eyes closed for, the next couple hours. I tried to go navigate around my room and down the stairs and into the bathroom.
Probably was like the best thing ever, just watching you do all these crazy things. Or even your mom.
She's like, what's she doing now?
Yeah. To just be entertained by watching you do your thing.
Oh, but what was cool was that
hilarious.
day that the teacher was like, tape up your hands. I was like, I'm going to do both hands so I won't have either of my thumbs. But it was hard, like opening doors, like doing my locker, and then like opening the little thingy with my locker. I had to use like both hands, and like I couldn't write. Like, you can't write when you have.
Yeah.
And so I was like writing, like I probably looked like a caveman holding my pencil, like with all my fingers to write. It was interesting, and all the other teachers knew, that our 6th grade class was doing it, so they're supposed to kind of like give us a break, but it was only during the school day. But I was like, that was such a fun experiment to just realize how, because when you are without something for a while, it makes you that
You
much
realize-
more grateful for it. And that's why
Yeah.
I think I kind of like doing stuff like that, because it makes me grateful for the things that I do have. So after that, I've always been so grateful for my thumbs.
That's great. That's awesome.
I like how at the end of this one, because Pete gets captured by the bad guys, and then Clark uses his super hearing to like track him down and find him.
Oh yeah.
Because Pete's mom is a judge, and she was the judge over the bad guy's case. And so his sidekick, the kid with the flappy lips, captures Pete and hides him away, and then and then the bad guy's like, you can get your son back if you let me get released, essentially. And then Clark's able to hunt down Pete and save him. But the cool thing is at the end, because Pete knows Clark's secret and Clark was able to save him, Pete's able to take all the credit for like escaping the bad guys.
I love that.
And so he's at the Talon telling all these cute girls his escape story and getting to have so much fun with like embellishing things and making him look like this superhero. And he loves it, and Clark just chuckles like, this is great. And I love that part. I love that Pete got to like have, because ever since learning Clark's secret, it's been just hard on him. There haven't been, there's been a few things here and there that kind of make it fun, but this was like another fun moment for him, for having to keep the secret.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, and I just love how he acts around women. So head over heels for them, and it just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Oh, and Clark and Lana talk at the end, and they're like, and Lana's like, I think I'm gonna start seeing this guy, and you need to be okay with it, and let's be friends. And so they decided they're gonna be friends. But then she like cries as she drives away.
Yep, and he can hear. For two people who talk a lot, they sure don't say a whole lot to each other.
Yeah.
Although the whole fact of like, I don't know, him staying away from her because he's going to put her life in danger. It's like, you're already doing it by being friends. Like, why deprive yourself of happiness if the end result is, but then it's that whole, he's just reserved because he doesn't trust her, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yep. But I think Martha sees it that first way that you were saying too, because she keeps trying to be like, helping
Lana understand.
You gotta love too. Like you need to have a little love, and maybe Lana's it for you. And so she kind of pushes Lana on him every once in a while, here and there. Like, why don't you try? And that's why I'm like, Martha, shut up. It's not your choice. It's his.
Yeah. She just wants him to be happy.
Exactly.
And knows that he has feelings for her.
Yes. Okay. Episode 11 I called Brain Hypnosis Virus.
Delete. Yeah. They're trying to delete Chloe from a computer virus.
So Clark and Lana each try to kill Chloe for unknown reasons after they receive a mysterious email from the Summerholt Institute. Clark must discover the source of these emails after Chloe reveals she has uncovered proof that the laboratory is involved in a mind control research study, and someone wants to prevent her from writing an expose. Meanwhile, Lana rents the apartment above the Talon to Adam, even though she feels he is hiding something dangerous about his past.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, he's a vampire.
One thing that I really liked about this episode is Chloe, she like leaves the Daily Planet because, Lionel, she goes to Lionel in the previous episode and it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so he's like, fine, you don't get to be in the junior reporter in the Daily Planet. So in this episode, she's packing up her desk and leaving. And she goes in to her boss and is like, here's my last couple stories. And he's like, I can't print anything with your name on it. And she's like, oh, let me just give you the name of my cousin and you can use her name for it. And she writes Lois Lane. And then, and you're like,
Yeah.
Ooh, Lois Lane. And so her name's going to be associated with Chloe's last few stories that she wants in the Daily Planet.
Well, and I thought it was funny how she's like, she could care less about news. And it's like,
she hates reporters.
Yeah. Well, clearly something happened.
Yeah, it's awesome. But at this point for me as a viewer of the show, I thought, that's it. Because I always liked Chloe. I always thought Chloe and Clark should end up together and they're going to be but I knew that couldn't be the case because Chloe's name isn't Lois Lane, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
right.
What if Chloe just takes on the Lois Lane persona and that's how she's quote unquote Lois Lane and that's how they end up together? And that I was convinced for I don't know, however long until I stopped watching this show, that's what was going to happen, which wasn't too far from this because I think I stopped watching it after a few more episodes. I was just like, that's it. I can't handle this anymore. Yeah, I was just like, Chloe's going to be Lois Lane.
Yeah.
They will end up together.
They will. We'll be happy ever after.
So the thing about this brain hypnosis virus is after whoever tries to kill, they either have to be successful in killing whoever they're supposed to kill, or they have to get like knocked upside the head. Mm-hmm. But after the fact, they remember nothing of what happened. Whether they were successful or whether, they weren't. They just don't remember. So being able to track down the source of the emails was tricky, but it ends up coming back to this chick named Molly. And anyway, I guess that part isn't really important, but she's Brainwave, and she's a supervillain in the comics. That's all I had to say about that.
So in the comics, does she control people's minds with electronics, or
no, just a brainwave, like a brainwave.
Oh, okay, like her actual brain can control people. Okay, it's too bad they didn't go with that. I don't know, maybe they will later on be like, she got whacked upside the head with kryptonite and now she can control people with her mind.
You know how they draw it in pictures where like, and then there's like the orbs coming toward somebody.
Yeah.
You're like, she's controlling them.
I hated the part where Clark is leaving Chloe to the nurse after he tries to kill her. And he bumps into Lana and Adam, and he's being super possessive and super weird and super annoying. I'm like, where is this person coming from? Because he's always been the nice guy and reserved, but then all of a sudden he's being like really weird and snarky. And Lana, in Lana fashion, doesn't step up and say, okay, well, we're going to go see Chloe and walk away with Adam instead of just sitting there texting on her phone while they're awkwardly standing there. It's like, I hated it so much. Clark was being annoying. This whole episode, I hated how Clark was being towards Lana and towards Chloe. Like, he should just relinquish with whatever he's got with Lana, because clearly she doesn't want him, kind of, whatever. They're annoying back and forth. But then he's being super rude to Chloe, like even after he tried to kill her on accident, like their whole interaction where she comes to his, like she always comes to him. He does not seek her out to like, hey, I'm sorry I almost tried to kill you,
I know.
but let's talk through, why I've got issues with you. And like the interaction between them felt so incomplete. Like she's like, I know I messed up because I was going behind your back researching, but I was in a really bad place. And, she's trying to apologize and explain what was going on. And he's like, yeah, well, it kind of whatever. And I was like, where's the whole, I'm sorry I tried to run you over, but I wouldn't kill you because you mean more to me than that. Like there was nothing like, I wouldn't try and kill you. So there's something more going on. Instead it's, oh, here's your laptop. What were you doing last? Oh, you stopped in the middle of a sentence and I don't remember what I was doing. Oh, well, let's look in your email. And
yeah.
It was so annoyingly incomplete. And just I hate how he has been interacting with Chloe since they stopped, like, she stopped dating him because he didn't care enough for her and she knew it.
Right.
And thankfully she
dating
better,
is a strong word. They went on a date.
A date, that's true. Yeah.
But she still had feelings for him. Yeah. It is... I did want to throw in there when Lana goes to like try and kill Chloe, how Adam runs in and does like all these really cool, super kick, awesome fighting moves to stop Lana and saves Chloe. And so that's kind of like pulls Adam into the story, which was good because then they did get to have that awkward moment. And I try to look at it in a way that, Clark being awkward is because that would be an awkward situation. Because he still does like her and he's trying to be okay with her dating somebody else. But apparently it's really hard for him.
And maybe it's because of the almost we had a relationship that maybe that's the explain away his reaction to Adam and like he's maybe really gonna lose Lana. Like she's not just sitting around waiting like she said she wasn't going to. She's actually out there meeting
secretly hoping men. That she would.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I liked the acting by Chloe when her and Clark have that decide to forgive and forget kind of thing talk. Mm-hmm. Chloe won't investigate, and she says she knows that Clark will tell her what he's holding back when he's ready. And she just has all this, like, good emotion. Listeners, so she is my favorite because she just pulls all of it out of you. Like, you feel like she's actually feeling this stuff.
Yeah.
You feel like she's Chloe. It's so great.
Yeah.
She does, her acting's just so nice. She cried. She had all this emotion. It was just beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end, Lex goes to see the crazy doctor and tells him to leave Chloe alone. And then threatens him with publishing this article that Chloe had written up on him. Unless he can get back 7 weeks of his memory. The last 7 weeks of his memory. Because he's like, I want that back. So, episode 12, I called Premonition.
Hereafter, Clark discovers that his schoolmate Jordan, who just moved into town, can foresee the future. And he is horrified when Jordan predicts that Lana will die in a fire in the next few days. Meanwhile, suspicious of Adam's behavior, Chloe investigates his background and finds some disturbing facts.
Dun, dun,
dun. Yeah, because he's a vampire. It's very disturbing.
So I really like Jordan in this episode. He is the visiting, what do they call that? The visiting actor.
The
Guest star. That's it.
Yeah, guest star.
He's this good kid that just wants to help people because he can see visions of the future and how they're going to die. And if people are going to die soon, he tries to save them. Like, he feels like, I have this gift. I'm going to try to help people. And that's what he does. And he's been homeschooled up until now because he gets the premonitions when anybody touches him.
Yep. And not just skin to skin. Like if they bump him.
Even through clothing.
Yeah.
So there's this one part, it kind of made me laugh and feel bad at the same time because that's how I react when things make me feel bad. I laugh. He tells Clark, I don't like being touched, because Clark goes to like put his hand on his shoulder and he like shies away from it. And he's like, I really don't like being touched. And then immediately he gets bumped into by like 4 people.
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh, ugh. Oh, poor kid. But it made me laugh. Anyway, Clark was giving him the guided tour. And so I was just curious, were you ever in charge of giving somebody a guided tour of like the school or something?
Not in high school. I'm trying to think if I had ever had to do it, but I think that was mostly like the team that the new hire would be on would do the tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. How about you?
I was on the receiving end of the guided tour a lot because we moved a lot.
Oh.
So, you know, I don't remember back in elementary school or anything, but like in middle school, I'd lived there for a while. So what am I thinking of that I got like the guided tours sometimes? I don't know. I've been on the receiving end of guided tours. But not in high schools, apparently.
I don't know where.
I don't know where. Yeah. But it's always nice. And they usually do. They choose a nice person to give them to you that will maybe become your friend or at least introduce you to people that you might be friends with. I liked that. I thought it was always nice to get introduced to a place that way. And I don't know what I'm thinking of that I got those. Maybe it was hospitals. I got a nice nurse that would walk me around places. Show
you where things were. This is where you get the good candy.
Yes.
Where you avoid.
This is the snack room. Back when we could go and pick up snacks ourselves. Now that's like very...
locked down, is it really?
Yeah, it is. Or you have to go to like the cafeteria. It's so different now. Like hospitals are different than when I was a kid. Yeah. Like, when I was a kid, there was like a room on hand that we could just go to, and they'd store the snacks that we liked in there, the patients. And so whenever we were feeling snacky, we could just go to this room and pick out our snacks because they'd have a whole bunch of our favorites in there. And so, but now that's like germ city, so you have to ask the nurse to get you stuff, and you can't really leave your room and all sorts of things. So
too bad. Yeah. Hey, at least you don't have to be in hospitals as much nowadays.
Woohoo! I love that. Okay, so what do we got from this one? I like that Jordan makes the connection that Clark's different. Like he bumps into Clark at one point and he never sees a death. Because that's what he sees, is he's people's deaths. Lana's changes at one point, because at first, when he first bumped into her, he saw her being an old lady, and then when she died, and then he saw her dying in a fire later. But Clark was different because he didn't ever see an end for Clark. But Clark also was able to change people's deaths. And so he's like, I need to hang around you so we can help save people because you changed the coaches. Because he saw the coach dying. We didn't talk about the coach at all. So he saw one of the teachers deaths, and Clark was able to save the teacher from dying. And then Jordan was like, I want to stick around you, Clark, because you help people, and that's what I've always wanted to do. I want to be able to save people from their deaths. I like that he just wanted to use his power for good, because most of the time they focus on people that get like kryptonite powers, and they're awful, and they're usually just bad guys. And every once in a while they'll see, here's one that is a good guy. They aren't all bad guys. Adam is seen taking drugs in the high school. They never really like pointed out, but is Adam going to the high school? Like, is he a student? Because he's there to stop Lana from killing Chloe in the previous episode.
He just randomly pops up anywhere.
And then he's in the lunchroom shooting up drugs into his arm.
Oh, I thought it was like a shop.
No, it's the lunchroom, the cafeteria. And you're like,
oh, dear.
Why is he at the high school again? Is he a high schooler? And that's why I had to ask. I was like, so did he enroll at Smallville High?
No, he's just a mysterious dude that
did drugs at the high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chloe sees him, and then so she kind of like goes to Lana, and she's like, And so Lana's like, okay. And so then Lana goes, confronts Adam about it, and he gets super defensive. Anyway, Jordan and Clark end up saving everybody except the coach from the fire, because he kidnaps the coach. The teacher kidnaps Lana and another cheerleader who he thought were involved in his daughter's death. So he's going to kill him, I guess.
And then kill himself as well.
And himself. Anyway, they get the girls out. But in the explosion, which was a really cool explosion, Jordan ends up dying, saving the girl. And when he comes back to life, they get him back. Now he doesn't have his superpower anymore, so
yeah,
he can just go to school as a regular kid.
Exactly.
Lana and Lex talk about Adam maybe being bad news, and Lex found that Adam is in a clinical trial for a new drug, and that's why he had the needles. And so Lana's like, oh, well, he should,
He should have told me that
instead
of getting all defensive.
And then Lex tells Lana to trust her instincts, but he's going to look into Adam more. So, anyway. And then Jordan tries to tell Lana that Adam's not good news, and she doesn't want to hear it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Clark hits this is kind of a defining moment for Clark. Like, should I stop saving bad people? Should I only save people that are good? And he kind of comes to this question because at one point he had saved the teacher who ended up kidnapping these girls and trying to murder them. And he's like, I saved him. Like, if I hadn't have saved him, that bad stuff wouldn't have happened. And right when he's going through all this, like, turmoil, like, what should I do? Then he finds his dad suffering from a heart attack. And that's the end of the episode. But instead of, like, picking him up and, like, super running to a hospital, he, like, kneels on the ground next to him, like, no, Dad. And I'm like, use your superpowers.
Right. Yeah. I was like, why are you calling for your mom? Pick him up, go tell him, I'm taking him to the hospital, and then run really fast to the hospital because nothing has stopped you running fast in front of everybody before. Why would this? Yeah.
Super run to a hospital.
Really yeah. Well, and Jonathan says not now. So he knows that it's coming from the what's
Jor-El.
his Jor-El giving him extra strength to be able to bring Clark back from
Metropolis.
many episodes before the first episode, probably. Yeah.
Yep.
So
how do you feel about being touched or bumped into?
If I'm focusing on something, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's something I've learned with my kids. If I'm cooking, if I'm focusing with work, like I don't like being talked to. I don't like being touched. I don't like it. I don't know why. A fatal flaw in my programming for myself. But and then if I'm in a big group of people, I hate it because I don't like being in big crowds. So I hate it. I hate it. I hate it all. What about you?
I don't like being interrupted, I think, is another one for me. But I'm one of those people that sometimes I'm in the mood to be like grabbed and touched, and other times I'm like, don't do that to me right now. Mostly it's like depending on my mood. If I'm in a grouchy mood, I don't want people to touch me, and if I'm just fine, I love the hugs and the pats and the so it really just depends on my mood. So before you touch me, ask me how my mood is. No.
How are you feeling, Emmeline? Can I approach you?
No, I think it's a fatal flaw in my programming as well. It's just like, bleh. Yeah. I just need to be okay with that. Because people shouldn't have to ask me how I'm feeling before
in order to interact with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say about that episode?
I love that Damon is in episodes. It's great. I loved all of these because he was in it at some point, no matter if it made sense or not, which most of the time it never did. Oh, I do want to say something.
Okay.
Jordan, who predicts the deaths of people, did tell Lana, because she came over to help him study with something, I can't remember what it was. He did tell her that Adam died. He's like, there's more going on with Adam than you think, and I just want you to know he died. And I was like, yeah, because he's a vampire.
Yep.
But that was it.
All right, tally board. Titles said in the episode. There were 0 titles said in the episode.
Which is shocking.
Yeah. Mom was said 10 times. There were no bad guy operas.
Which I could have swore there was. Maybe it was just the piano playing that I got confused, but I could have sworn there was opera.
Oh, well.
But I guess not.
I didn't catch it. And mind you, all of these tally boards are up for criticism because I might miss something. I try my best, but I might miss 1 or 2 or something. First name, last name happened 15 times.
Gosh, that's a lot.
And then we had the reverse Bechdel test, and 2 episodes past that. And so Pete and Clark in the Whisper episode talked about Chloe, the Flappy Lips episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Delete episode, the Tech, who's in later episodes, and Lex talk about Molly.
Ah.
So.
That does make sense.
Brainwave. Yep. There's the tally board. My favorite Superman reference was the glasses. We got to see Clark Kent in glasses because as he was getting his vision back, it came in back slowly. So for a little while, he was nearsighted. And so he wore glasses. So this was the first time we got to see him in glasses.
Yeah, buddy. And I do have an eye roll moment. It was when Clark all of a sudden became a really good hacker. So our next episode I was like, it's you, isn't it? We are going to be talking about Smallville. That's going to be season 3 again, episodes 13 to 16.
Yes. Da, 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 da. We would love to hear from you. We post a question on our Facebook page along with pictures from the episode, and I will have that electric collar video for anybody who wants to watch it. You can check those out there on our Facebook page. You can reach out to us at our email, and the links to our website, our email, and our Facebook page are all in the show notes. And thanks. I ended that incorrectly. You guys are awesome.
Woohoo! Help us grow by telling others about us. Share something you learned with them, like how Emmeline had a very interesting childhood and probably would have been awesome to be her sibling / parent just to watch her do crazy things. You can also subscribe to our podcast or become a supporter of our show on our website. Every little bit helps. We'd like to thank Red Productions for the music, Jonica for our logo, and to our listeners, we appreciate you.
Oh, Toodle Pip.
There you go. I kind of forgot about it too. Okay, so me and Anders are sitting in my room watching TV. He likes to have someone with him. He's just that kind of kid where he can't do anything by himself. And so I'm in reading or something and he's watching TV. All of a sudden he asked if he can turn off all the lights. I was like, well, if you want something really dark, you can go in my closet. He's like, okay. So he goes in there and he shuts the door and he's in there for a while and then he comes out. He's like, I'm gonna get carrots. I'm like, okay. So he goes and gets carrots. He comes back and we're snacking on carrots. He goes, these are gonna help my eyes see in the dark. I was like, yes, they will. So after he's done eating the carrots, he goes back in the closet, turns the light off and shuts the door. He goes, Mom, I could totally see in the dark so much better after eating the carrots. Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.